All right, what's going on, everybody? My name's Crypto Corey. I want to thank you for joining me. Today we've got an awesome discussion about Vivi and some stuff that's coming out with them, and then a few things that I'm kind of seeing that people are kind of talking about and stuff. And then we'll go into kind of the broad market and the Credit Suisse buyout and all that. But, I want to thank you again for just being with me. I know I don't have very many followers. I know I only get a handful of views, but, you're looking for diverse content. Maybe I provide something you like, and, that's great. So if you would, please definitely like this video, maybe share it or something. It's kind of get my name out there a little bit. Not necessarily to build up followers so I can go make money on YouTube, but, more along the lines of, you're just looking for a more diverse opinion, and you're just trying to, figure that out. Yeah, going through this little stop real quick. So anyways, the platinum moments are coming out, which at first glance is laughable because people are literally making that joke literally last year. It's like, all right, no more golden moments, but platinum moments, right? And all of a sudden now we do have platinum moments to commemorate the 100th anniversary. The thing that's kind of like special about this type of a drop is a new utility that they're gonna implement into it. And here's what I'll say. So the utility is you get a potion. Now, if you get one of these drops, like Mickey Mouse, or if you get Dumbo or whatever, if you get one of the platinum moments, and then you get the potion, you have X number of days to burn your potion. And if you burn your potion, whatever collectible you hold, whether it's the secret rare, uncommon, rare, whatever, whatever you have, you're going to get a corresponding poster for burning your potion. So you're going to have a few scenarios. You're going to have a handful of potions. So they're going to sell these potions. Some people are going to burn them, some people won't, so it's going to lower the supply of the potion, so the potion will be collectible. Then you'll have the posters themselves, which, if you kind of just think about it, some people will burn, some people won't, so you're going to have even less of each poster. And so these will be really rare Disney posters that'll be super sought after. So it's a cool little, I guess, activity to do that kind of lets you kind of play a little bit. It is utility, but I'll talk about what I believe the world is wanting for utility, and not just like, this is good for people who are already in Vivi. I don't think this is going to get people outside of Vivi to go in. I think if you're sitting there claiming to them that if you want this specific poster on drop, you're going to have to do XYZ, and people are just going to get confused with it, and they're not going to want to participate. So I just don't think this is a move to bring new people in. I think this is more of a, hey, Vivi users, past Vivi users, current Vivi users, this is something that can get you kind of more engaged, and we're going to start incorporating things like this into future drops. So, I mean, it's a positive, but to the realm of calling it a utility, I'd still say no, it's not a utility. My definition of utility is not some ultra broad sense where you can say a word like gamification. And what you really mean by gamification is you've got points, and you can use points to win other stuff, and that's technically gamification, right? And it is gamification, but no one hearing about, oh, I want to get into this investment, they've got gamification. They're not thinking that. They're thinking, oh, I can play a video game, or there's like something that allows us to challenge or go against each other, some type of actual gameplay. So when I think of the term utility, I'm thinking something you can do. It does something like the AR filter. That's a utility. So if you've got an AR filter, or if you've got AR collectible display, that is a utility. That is something you do with that collectible. Makes it useful in that way. So displaying it, recording videos and things like that, those are utilities. Now, having a Vivi Vault, a digital VR display showroom, that also would be considered a utility, because you now have a digital showroom you can display these items in. The picture itself is just a visible, tangible thing. So, but most people wouldn't consider that utility. They would just consider it the item. So the displayability seems to be the largest purpose for NFTs, and I think collectibles and art and music and things that you would need ownership for, that makes sense. But I do think if you're going to start talking about things like utility, the conversation really needs to go to usability for your, you know what I mean? Like a video game or an access pass, or if you hold this collectible, you can now participate in this space. So like, and this will be kind of the thing I was hearing and just seeing on Twitter, people kind of buzzing about, is this prospect of, you know, there will be a section of the Vivi verse that's kind of roped off, and you have to have a specific collectible in order to you know, go. Sorry, I'm kind of going through more traffic. There's a lot of traffic out where I'm at right now. But you know, that's kind of my viewpoint on utility. So you know, I'm really excited for a lot of the future stuff, but I think that David Yu has kind of come on and provided us more information to prove that what Vivi is less of this, we're bringing you a bunch of utility, and it's more of, hey, you know what, we are going to provide collectibles for collectors. And you know, it's funny because people would be upset with that. That's not mass adoption, and it's not. You're not going to get mass adoption that way when you're just providing collectibles for the sake of collecting and displaying. That's not going to bring in the masses. But, and this is the thing is, and this is where I feel like people have been messing up, is they try to think about Vivi more than it really is. So if you were to collect Pokemon cards, you know what I mean? Like, you're not expecting holding on to this Pokemon card long enough that you're going to get, you know, an access pass into Pokemon Land. You know, that's just going to be a more valuable collectible in the future, and that's it. And you can display it, you know, you can Logan Paul it around your neck like a nice out chain. You know, there's all things you can do with your Pokemon card, but it doesn't go beyond, you know, just the card. There's nothing else other than just the collectability and ownership of it. That's what Vivi is. Vivi is not this big money-making idea that they're going to grow on. And, you know, I think initially people were thinking, oh, well, when you get a Mickey Mouse and you're in the metaverse, that's your avatar, and no one else gets Mickey Mouse, and there's only going to be 5,000 Mickey Mouses in existence for all of eternity, and FA means no more, they're not making any more. You know, I feel like that's where people really think. In reality, when they talk, they're not saying that. They understand that, you know, they're going to make more of these. That's why you've got an FA tag versus this versus that. But their assumption is that they're going to be given utility, and these older collectibles are going to just gain more and more and more utility. Like, no, what it is, they're just collectibles. Now, some of them might have like an access pass or something. Now, imagine this. Imagine people are talking about like keys to go to Disney, right? And you can go to Disney World for whatever by holding this key. A lifetime pass to Disney. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people are thinking. A lifetime pass to Disney World. What is my lifetime pass? Here's what I'll probably tell you. If they do a lifetime pass is probably going to be a raffle, and it's probably going to be like a handful of people. It is not going to ever be something insanely like, you know, 1,000 people will get the key to the kingdom. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. If they were to do something like that, it's a very special, very isolated giveaway, and it's just symbolic more than it is anything. It's just a big giveaway. Now, with that said, I do believe that they'll probably, since they did it with the Golden Moments for you to get free Disney Plus, they'll probably do something where you get this NFT and then you can redeem a free pass to go into Disney World. So you get free tickets to Disney World. You know, I think that's more of on the lines of what we'll see. We're not going to see this utility continues forever and ever and ever and ever. You know, that Disney can just sell you more collectibles that give you that free, you know, utility. more so than, and what's funny is, like, even if you think about it, it would still be a giveaway if Disney were to do this. Like, instead of giving 5 people lifetime passes, they were to give 5,000 people 1 week passes, or something like that. You're gonna go for this stuff, but then you got to think about after you redeem these things, or just because you're the drop obtainer, the utility's now gone, right? Because if you hold this set, and then when you hold this set, they airdrop you a collectible. Now you got that collectible. Well, now it's done. You know what I mean? Like, now what are they going to do? Airdrop you more? I mean, I guess they could, but, at the end of the day, they're really not just going to keep airdropping you because you have this set. Now you got that airdrop, so now what's the purpose of holding the rest of the set, if not just for collecting purposes? So that's why I think people just need to understand the collector is the person who should be in Vivi. If you're looking for some type of a placeholder club where you're a exclusive member, like how the Bored Ape Yacht Club and stuff is, with private parties and stuff, you can go to Backhouse. They've had in-person events and stuff, and their Backhouse are not that expensive. You can get these passes and go to these events for a lot cheaper. You can socialize and talk to crypto people a lot cheaper than going out and buying like some $100,000 plus, Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. You can buy a cheap NFT with a cool community that you like. You can research all the communities, and you can find one that they have in-person meetings with that as an access pass. But that is not something I think Disney and Vivi are really pushing right now. They're more or less just trying to get people to buy the collectibles as if it's a piece of merchandise. That'll be it for talking Disney and Vivi. You kind of get my drift. I'm a collector, so I'm into Vivi for collecting. But I think for a long time, I think that they would be kind of elusive on what they would describe to people that this stuff is. And you would have a bunch of YouTubers speculating and a bunch of people listening to YouTubers, and you had a bunch of bots. So we had this mass adoption appearance that's not real. It's not legitimate. How many comic book collectors are there in the world? And then, how many Pokemon collectors are there in the world? Now, you're not going to get this, giant wave of all of this group and all of that group, and now all of a sudden you've just captured all of the IP, and everyone's there, mass adoption, the whole world. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you're just going to get people who are into collecting digital art, into going into a metaverse, into the social aspect. It's like a club. Now I got to do a U-turn real quick. Hold on 1 second. Actually, no, I'll just go straight. I had to go. I'm at work right now. I'm actually driving to go see a job site. I just drove by it. They've got concrete poured. Just kind of lets me know that I've got X number of days to, get this stuff on order so we can start our install of what I do for an actual living. But, that's kind of it. Just NFTs and all that. I think that people need to understand what they're for. There's going to be specific areas for specific types of NFTs. Not, these NFTs aren't going to just grow and grow and grow and be billions of dollars one day. I think that you're going to have comic books, probably you'll see some of them increase in value. I think, like, you'll see, I own it and I talk about it a lot, and I kind of shill it, obviously, but my AF-15 Secret Rare, now I have a common also, but I think you'll see that Secret Rare hit 100K one day. But how long, I don't know. Will it be 4 years? Will it be 2 years? Will it be 10 years? I don't know. But, if you look at the physical copies and stuff, they're selling for millions of dollars because they're very rare. A lot of them are damaged. A lot of collectors, a lot of investment collections out there. So, as a collector, I do see it at least hitting 100K in some tangible form of me selling it and making a good profit. So that's why I hold and have a lot of these collectibles. Honestly, long-term value. But at the end of the day, I'm still collecting some things that I just personally like. And I'm staying away from other collectibles I don't like. But if I just know it's going to be a valuable collectible for the collector's, sake, I go for it, and I'm not really big into the comic books, but I went for a lot of valuable comic books, and I've got a lot of valuable comic books. So just because that is valuable, and it's just part of the Vivi, so it pushed me to collect those. I wouldn't normally collect a ton of comic books on my own. I have some at home. I've got some graded nice comics, mostly Star Wars, but that's mostly because I read them. Less of a collector's, more of I wanted to read the story. Pokemon, that was more of a collector's thing for me. But, this whole crypto thing right now, I know this kind of the shift into the crypto aspect, and, people are talking about, is the market bottomed or not? I think crypto absolutely is bottomed. But the stock market, when I look at the chart and stuff, I see that there's a lot of resistance. There's a downtrend, and we've made it on the outs. We've broken that downtrend, but we're riding that line on the outside down with it. So at some point, you're going to hit another bottom, and we could retest the low. Will it go below that? I really don't know. I think that is a macro thing, but I don't think it's going to truly affect crypto the cycle-wise. I think it could suppress crypto if it were to go back down and we were to have more down. We had like 2-3 years of a recession of a bear market. It's been a recession. A lot of people are talking about, we don't want to go into recession. I'm like, dude, we are in recession. Whenever you have negative GDP growth for 2 consecutive quarters, that's considered a textbook definition of recession. Now they're changing the definition and stuff because they're supposedly all these other factors. But what they're not factoring in is the fact that the population decline is the reason why we have such low unemployment. And it's not like population decline, like we've grown as the world population, but the United States has kind of lowered the birth rate for so long that we're just not seeing the future jobs. And a lot of the boomers and stuff, they're all retiring, and there's no one to fill their positions because they were a very large generation. And a lot of them either aren't retiring, or a lot of these jobs are getting consolidated, but there's still tons of jobs out there. I'm looking for people for work like crazy. I'm begging for workers, wanting to pay them plenty of money, and it's difficult to find a good worker these days. So, macro, in my opinion, we've been in a recession, but I think there could be a potential for further. I just don't know. Now with crypto, like I said, I'm a firm believer of the cycles, and we are now into a bull market. You're only going to see a bear market, bull market. I know we're more in a crab market, but it's technically the bull market because we have bottomed. And we'll just, after the halving, we'll see a parabolic run up, and then we'll have a blow off top, and you'll have your sell off, to begin, and the cycle starts all over. So, and I think this is more to do with supply demand than it is with anything else, like anything going on in the macro. See, that's why, I'm not a big believer of the macro markets influencing crypto, is because when I look at it, what I'm actually seeing is much more of a supply demand issue than I'm seeing a macroeconomic issue. I think once we start really dwindling, that's why I believe in you'll have lower and lower returns over time. And I think the reason why you'll have diminishing returns is because now the total supply after the halving that's going to be mined is less and less and less. And it'll end in 21 something, but I think because there's going to be a fixed number, I feel like we're on a race to it, and everyone's trying to get as much as they can, and that's why you're seeing the waves and all that, and then they'll become more stable, less volatile. And I think once it gets more stable, I think we'll see a lot more volume, like regular volume. We will see less volatility, but ultimately there's gonna have to be a move. They're gonna have to make a major move and let everyone know they're the dog. You know what I mean? They're the store of value. Now, other cryptos will grow beyond that, but I think what we see with Bitcoin right now, I think it looks pretty good, and I'm excited for the future. So, yeah, that's basically it. It's just been a minute, so I wanted to talk. I know this video is like 20-something minutes long, but yeah, things are going great. I'm spending much more time and effort into crypto right now than I am in NFTs. I'll go for the golden or the platinum moments most likely, but how much more am I really? I'm not really spending much money into Vivi. I didn't spend hardly any money on 2022, even though I landed some really big drops. I did do a lot of flipping, and I used a lot of my flip money to buy stuff. Now I've basically bought everything because it's basically the bottom of the market. I'll probably start investing some money into Vivi, but I really want to be more picky and choosy at this point, because I am treating Vivi a little bit more like an investment on a few things, and then we'll just have to see how the Vivi verse develops before I know how much more I want to obtain in my collection. But I've got a handful of valuable ones that I'm hodling long term. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining me. Nothing I say is financial advice. My name's Crypto Corey, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day, y'all.